Hi, I'm Tamsin Silver, and I'm one of the authors with Falstaff Books. Thank you for joining me for my reading series. I just finished reading a section from Sky of the Damned, and I thought I would read maybe a section from Hope of the Damned, the second book in that damn series. I had to do the bad jokes. Sorry. All right. So the section I put aside that I thought you guys might enjoy is it's on page 53. Boom. It's chapter 6. The title of this chapter is called Swords and Sexual Tension. So hence why I thought you guys might like it. Anyway, Sky has decided that she needs to practice more on her sword work. And so because she knows Hayden is skilled in swords, she has asked him to help her practice. And they've been practicing out kind of in near a wooded area near the edge of the water in Manhattan. And so I shall read to you a small section from this. Here we go. Thanks for joining me. Swords clashed and Skies held fast. "Thought I'd buckle, didn't ya?" she said. "I'm holding back," Hayden replied, a devilish grin filling his handsome face, blue eyes dancing. Sky couldn't help the butterflies in her stomach when he did that, but she promised herself no relationships. She couldn't lose sight of the mission. Remembering that, she allowed more of her power into her muscles and shoved his sword away. Eyes wide, he shook a finger at her and he backed up. "You have not been honest with me, my dear. You're not human." "I'm not sure what I am," she lied, lifting up the broadsword of his she was borrowing with both hands. "You're fast enough to truly spar?" he taunted. Sky's eyes narrowed as distrust filled her. "Have speed at first. If I pick up the tempo, follow along and don't add to it." "You mean read you like a dance partner?" Or a sex partner, she thought, and knew she blushed a bit. Shaking her head with a laugh to hide her blush behind her hair, she shoved down her lusty feelings for the man standing in front of her. "Just like." "Well then, I'll wait on you to initiate." His comments were not helping to clear her head at all. Taking a settling breath, she focused on moving energy into other parts of her body. Lifting her gaze to meet his, she was sure he saw everything in her mind. If that was the case, he also saw she was ready to kick his ass. His face, however, only showed an intense focus. Even when she came at him and her blade met his, he gave nothing away. Round and round they sparred about a nearly empty park along the Hudson River, working up a sweat. He followed her lead perfectly, no matter how fast she moved or how much power she gave. Finally, at a point where they were nose to nose, blades pressed together, she realized the truth. "You're Fae," she said. "So are you," he said, spinning out of the hold. She shook her head. "If I am, I have no proof of that." "I think you're lying, but that's okay. It's in your eyes." They circled one another. "You can tell I'm Fae from my eyes?" she asked. "Dark Fae, specifically," he said. "Oh, do tell." "The blue of your eyes. It's a trait of the Unseelie court, specifically the royal family." Sky laughed. "My mom had brown eyes." "Your dad maybe then?" he offered. "Never met the man." "Oh?" "He abandoned us when I was a baby," she said, the heat of saying it aloud lighting a fire under her and shoving her back into the match. Steel clashed in the clearing, and he led her through the trees, likely to make things more difficult. Soon they were far from their belongings, and she worried about her bag. Sky moved around him to head back the way, and he blocked her. "No one is going to mess with our stuff," he said. "You don't know that," she said, arcing her sword down and the side of his knee. Hayden leapt high up and flipped over her. Using her face speed to spin, Sky kept herself from losing the fight then and there. "You came back this way to play with your powers." He wiped sweat from his brow and smiled. "Maybe I want to test yours." Sky shrugged. Can't help you there. We'll see about that, he replied, and came at her full force, just like Alarica, Alexei, or Pegida would have done. Sky had two options: let herself lose, or put up the right amount of fight, and she was no quitter. Besides, he knew anyway. To be honest, he seemed to know more than he should. Even so, her pride stepped between her judgment and actions, and she allowed 3/4 of her power to flow into her. The fight moved to the next level, and if humans had been in the area, they'd have seen things they shouldn't have. However, they were alone, and at this level of her gifts, they were well matched. And as they leapt over one another through trees, she found herself enjoying the challenge. One of us will have to concede, he said at a point when they both were out of breath. Only if we want to ever leave the park and get ice cream, she said. I was thinking of a cold shower, but ice cream works, he said, and came in for a hit. Seeing his move coming, recognizing it from one that Alexei liked to use on her, she spun around behind him, dropping to her knees as she did so, and his sword flew over her head as she brought hers up just shy of his balls. He froze. Now I definitely need a cold shower, he said. Sky knew he meant it because she did too. Do you yield? I totally yield, my good lady. My balls are not yours today. Not today. Nice, she said, lowering her sword. He put a hand out and helped her up. Ice cream, you said? Yeah, there's this ice cream truck that loves to sit outside my building and play that damn horrible jingle every day around now. If we hurry, we can reach him in time. Excellent. They fetched their belongings and hustled back to Sky's apartment to find the local Mr. Softy truck sitting there where it always was this time of day. Madison says the truck comes around at 2 a.m. sometimes, even in February. Ah, yes, Hayden said. Get your munchies and then what gives them to you all in one stop. Sky snorted a laugh. Yes, exactly what I thought. Hayden stepped up to the window, ordered, and paid. Least I could do since I got bested by a girl half my size. You sure you didn't let me win? She asked. He grinned. If I did, I'd never admit it to you. Probably smart, she replied. Taking both cones from the man in the truck, Hayden handed the smaller one to her. M'lady? Thank you, sir. They headed to the small public park to sit on the big rocks there to watch the dogs in the dog park as they ate. I want a corgi, she blurted out for no reason. Do you now? Yeah, someday when my life isn't crazy. Bartending and filming would make that hard, I would assume. Yeah, it does. Hayden licked the chocolate sprinkles off one side of the swirl vanilla ice cream. What would you name him or her? A boy. I don't know. I like the idea of Luke. Like Luke Skywalker? That Luke? Sky cut her eyes to him. And how would you know that? You have Star Wars posters up all over your room and Mark Hamill's signature, so it's a pretty educated guess. Whew, for a minute there, I thought you were able to read minds. He smiled down on her. No, ma'am. Besides, I like guessing better. I like the challenge. She caught the innuendo without working for it. With a wink, she said, Then we are rightly matched. A huge smile spread across his face, and he turned to look at the puppies playing. Good to know. Hayden is actually on the back of the book, because this story does definitely revolve around the relationship between Hayden and his father, and Hayden and of course Sky. And if you're wondering why it's called Hope of the Damned. Hope is the name she uses for something else in the book, and I'm not going to give it away, but it's very important. The third book I've already started. I don't know when I'll get to it again because I'm on contract. I'm currently writing the third book in the Untold Legends series. But my hope and plan is to, once I turn that in, while it's being edited, is to go back to work on Faith of the Damned, which is the third book in the first trilogy of the Sky series. There will be, hopefully, 2 sets of 3 for the Sky series. You'll have Sky of the Damned, Hope of the Damned, and Faith of the Damned. And then after that, there should be 3 more that'll come through for the series that'll hopefully end it out. So, and that's because they're novellas. So maybe eventually what we'll do is we'll put the first 3 together in one and the first 3 in another, and then it'll be 2 big omnibuses. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Again, this is one of the many videos I've thrown up on my website, tamsinsilver.com, for you to hear me read and trip over my own words that I wrote. I find errors, by the way, when I read and think, damn it, and I keep reading. But I hope you enjoyed it. Come back, watch more, subscribe if it so suits you. I hate the people that are like, subscribe below. Nah, whatever. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If not, hopefully you'll come back or you'll send some friends to come watch some of the videos. You can also see some of the panels I've been on with Dragon Con and other panels. So thank you so much for joining me. Take care out there. Bye-bye.